3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
And it's interesting. I have great respect for parents. I am a fur dad of a Frenchie and a Havanese. And I find that the depth of emotion I feel there, it was having those fur babies that I knew I could not be a parent. You all never stop caring, even after we get old enough to make our own choices. You still feel the pain and the stress, and it feels like something that never ends. You're never free from loving those people unconditionally. And I just found that was a challenge I don't think I can bear. I would move the world for them over and over again, even to my own detriment. How do you manage that as a parent to let them make their own mistakes?
It's hard, but I think you think back to what your parents did for you, and some things you want to do the way they did, some things you want to do differently.
Sure.
But each experience is one that I think you learn from. And I also think, not that I would give you advice, but I think you never know whether or not you'd want to be a parent or would be a good parent until you have your own kids. I was never that interested in other people's kids, and neither was Stephanie. But it seemed like the right thing to do. Everyone else was doing it.
Oh wow, okay. And you know what, Roger? For me, I always said to myself, unless I was absolutely certain, and here I am at 54 3/4, and I was like, and it feels like if it's done well, it is the hardest thing, the greatest thing. You and Stephanie would know this, and I was just never certain. It's in for a penny and for a pound, as my grandmother would say. You can't just go, oh, I need to rehome these. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I never did. So I have such great respect for parents who do it and do it well. So no, I take your advice, but I am fairly certain. No.
You're still young.
Oh, right. You know what, my friend? I see your success is not lost on me on all levels, sir. I'm going to move on.
We wanted to up our game, and as with any other thing we try and do, we wanted measurable results. We wanted to see the representation, diverse representation at every level within the organization move up. And we wanted to see equal engagement scores for every group within Discover. We wanted everyone to feel equally good about the opportunities they had, and that this is a place where they can be their true selves. And so we knew to do that, we needed real expertise and focus, and that's why we created this position.
And that which gets measured gets done.
Yep.
Where are you all right now, specifically against those measurable goals you set in 4 areas of diversity, equity, inclusion, and external impact? And then more globally, where are you at in your journey? So where are you at in the measurable, and where are you at as an organization on your DEI walk?
Yeah, I think we're making good progress.
Okay.
We're not where we want to be yet, but we're making good progress. So on engagement, we are seeing the same levels of engagement across every group at Discover. In terms of representation, we've set goals around representation of women, but also people of color at every level.
Yeah.
And we're making measurable progress against those, but still aren't at our goals. I think in terms of external impact, with the launch of the Chatham Center, that's one where we hope to be able to overachieve. Because we are having conversations. You are seeing other companies. I'm not the only white male CEO out there who's doing something. You look at what ITW and Scott Sandy are doing on the West Side, and we're having conversations with other companies to help them get inspired and see that not only is it the right thing to do, but it can be a great business decision too.
Where are you on your journey with race, equity, DEI, the use of your privilege, the holding yourself and others that you may have access to that I do not? Where are you at on that journey personally, if I may ask?
It's sort of like us as a company. I feel like I'm making progress, but have a ways to go. And there's nothing like having kids to help you know what areas you need to improve in.
But you're board of directors.
I think it's part of the nature of privilege that those who have it don't necessarily notice it. And so I talked about meeting my wife at Merrill Lynch. A woman who worked with us, Lisa Cleveland, is black. And I remember early on talking to her, and she pointed out, well, you probably haven't had the experience of being followed around a retail store. And I was like, no, actually, I haven't. And so I think you don't always understand the privilege you have, but you can, right? You have to push yourself. You have to try and see from others. You need to surround yourself with more diverse acquaintances or friends or colleagues and learn from their experiences and be committed to making the world a better place. And I think about, at work, I think about how much I like working at Discover. And how I sort of enjoy coming in every day. And it would really pain me that if someone else didn't feel that way, didn't feel like this was somewhere where they fit, felt like they couldn't be their true selves, or they wouldn't get ahead, or wouldn't feel valued. And so, I was listening to a panel from our transgender and gender fluid employees. And I hadn't put my pronouns on my email. I was fine with other people doing it, but I hadn't bothered doing it. And one of the employees said, that topic came up, and what they said was, when I get an email like that, it makes me feel safe. Because I know that this is someone who understands me. And so I have since changed and now have my pronouns. And so I think it's being open to these experiences, listening to others, and understanding the world from their perspective. And so that is what is helping me on my journey.
My final thought in this segment, I've come to learn, we would always hear, treat others the way you would want to be treated. My evolution of growing is no, treat others the way that they want to be treated. So you remind me of that. It has been it's more than I thought. Sir, it has been, Roger, it's been a pleasure talking with you. It is so nice to have conversations right now. We are all looking for answers. We are all looking for, in this, what is truly a dash moment, an inflection moment for us, there is no neutral. Nobody can be on the fence right now. So it is very nice to have this conversation with you. One that you are busy, you don't necessarily have to have, but you understand the importance of it, and having this with our community, a community that you are clearly a part of. So I'm going to give you a half-second break because we're not done. I'm not letting it be over yet. We're going to come back, and Roger and I are going to partake in our last segment, which is called Three for the Road. It's not that painful. We'll be right back. Roger Hochschild, we are at the point of the show. My favorite among favorite parts of the show is Three for the Road. It trips people up, so I'm going to explain the rules. I'm going to ask you 3 questions. You're going to give me 3 answers. Ready?
Yes. All
right, first question. If you could have dinner with any person, living or dead, who would you choose and why?
Oh, gosh. So this just caught my mind. There's a new biography of Martin Luther King by a great Chicago author, Jonathan Ike, who wrote a biography of Muhammad Ali. And it talks about how there hasn't been a new biography in 30 years, and how he felt like his image has been watered down, and just sort of the passion and activism and strength. And that just caught my eye, so I would love to have dinner with Martin Luther King.
I'm coming.
There we go.
Okay, excellent.
It'll be the 3 of us.
Sir, great first answer. Second question, do you have any regrets?
I am not, my wife would say I have a terrible memory. I'm like a goldfish, so I can't even think of the past. It's a weird one. I sometimes regret not having lived my life in San Francisco. Grew up there, just very passionate about the city. I don't really, because I love being in Chicago. 3 wonderful kids, wonderful wife, but I can't really think of a major regret.
Okay. Final question. One piece of advice present-day Roger would have given his 21-year-old self.
It's especially as you get older, you look back, and I think it's enjoy the journey, right? It isn't about reaching goals; it's about the experiences you have along the way, and sort of measuring yourself really with the impact you can have in the lives of others. But don't sort of wait for something. Don't shoot for something. Think about what you're doing each and every day. That's what I would have told myself.
That was a fantastic 3 for the road. Bravo. With that, I am going to thank you again, Roger, for making time to sit with me in the arena tonight. This was a fantastic conversation. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for your fearlessness. Thank you for being a great father and a great husband and a funny fellow 6'3"er.